Well, just a little rant today. Y'all can hear my goats. I'm at the barn. But this is what really kills me with Georgia and the system, okay? This has nothing to do with the court system. This has to do with kids like my son, Joseph, that has a traumatic brain injury. Now, y'all tell me if this makes sense. If you're a meth head, now, you've been in jail several times. You constantly are a meth head. And you go to treatment several times. You know, you find God every time you go, you know. You go to prison after a certain amount of years. You get out and you get a big check. Anywhere from $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. But Joseph can't get hardly no help. Maybe $200 a month is what they're going to grant him with. And it takes forever to try to get him in rehab. And if my husband, his dad, didn't have insurance, we would be up the creek without a paddle. And, you know, when he went to the rehab in Houston, we had to pay $12,400 a month out of our own pocket for 4 months. So y'all do the math. So, you know, that's money that we could have used to build more on his room, make it even bigger, you know, do stuff. I'm trying to get grants now with that, and you have to jump through hoops. But he can't get no help. It's like, you know, darned if you do and darned if you don't. You know what I mean? So just tell me, what, Loretta, are you stuck? No wonder, y'all, she's hollering over here. She's stuck in the chair. Okay, let me help you out. There you go. But it's like pulling teeth. But you can become a druggie, and you can. And let me say something now. I know all y'all have different remarks on this. Some of you think, Tatum, you shouldn't feel that way. I've tried drugs. I've admitted to anybody. When I was 21 and 22, I have tried drugs. I'll tell you why I never done drugs again. I tried them, and I come home and told my mama I'm a hypochondriac. And I was holding my chest, and I told her, I said, Mama, I think I need to go to the hospital. She said, well, you'll be on the front page paper of this town because everybody knows your daddy, so you just gonna have to die. Honey, she broke me. I didn't ever do another. I was 22 years old. I never done another drug. And let me tell you something. I never done no meth or nothing like that, or no crack or nothing like that. But to me, a drug's a drug. But did I drink and party? Yeah. But here's my thing. People that are supposedly addicts, they say, I'm an addict, I can't help it. Bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say this. I threw drinking down like cold turkey. These people has to drink every day. I quit cigarettes for 2 years. You know, when Joseph got hurt, now it was my fault that I started back. Now I'm starting to vape a little bit because I'm trying to cut back and go off of them again. But it's just like eating sugar, you know, anything like that. You can become an addict at that. Mine was Dr. Peppers. I love Dr. Peppers. Now I drink Diet Dr. Peppers or zero sugar Dr. Peppers. I had to have the willpower. I think that's a lot of us. You've got to have the willpower not to do it. Did I want to become a full diabetic and start insulin? No, I did not. So I made the choice to stop. It's just like eating hamburgers, eating sweets. Some people have a sweet tooth. But let me say what I mean by a drug addict or an alcoholic. Do I believe they were born that way? Hell no. You were not born that way. God did not put you on this earth to be a druggie or an alcoholic. You didn't come out your mama's tail smoking a crack pipe, okay? I'm sorry, you didn't. But I know a lot of people who used to do drugs and they turn their life around. And let me tell you something. I applaud them for that, and I think that is awesome. And they tell their story. I think it is harder on some people. You know, some people they like that lifestyle. But what I don't understand is every time they get out of jail or every time they get arrested for it, they find God. I am a big believer in Jesus Christ. Y'all know that? Do I cuss them? Yeah, I do. And I do things I probably shouldn't have. But let me tell you something. The Lord loves everybody and He forgives, okay? He forgives all of us sinners. We all sin. Nobody is perfect. And I'm not somebody just going to keep talking to you about Jesus because we all have different beliefs. I'm a Southern Baptist, and I know everybody has different beliefs. But here's what I say about that. I know there's a God. I know there's Jesus Christ. And look at my son if you don't believe in him. If you look at my son and you still tell me there's no God or Jesus Christ, something's wrong. But anyway, off that subject. I don't talk religion and politics. I try not to. But what gets me is they always find Jesus. They come out. They found Jesus. They go straight to the church house. Okay, if you've done this more than one time, then somebody says, and they've done it twice or 3 times or 4 times or 5 times. And yeah, you're supposed to forgive. But are you supposed to forget? And another thing I don't understand, have y'all ever noticed this? Children always go to them ones like that. They always run to the ones that ain't done nothing for them. It's just sorry pieces of trash. And the ones that do for them, they throw them to the side. Well, people have asked me, Tatum, why is that? It's because they let them children do whatever they want to. And them children ain't always saints. Heck, they'll probably do drugs with them. You know, they think it's fun. They're the fun parent. You know, they don't have no rules or whatever. But what I want to get to is here, what my rant is today is, why is it right that they always get help above somebody that has a traumatic brain injury, or somebody that has cancer, or somebody that has cerebral palsy, or, you know, autism, or Down syndrome, any kind of disease? They cannot help it. They were born that way. My son, now, he wasn't born that way, but he didn't tell himself that happened to him. Somebody let him lay there 14 hours. So that's what pisses me off. And I'm not going to apologize for saying this about this, because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing about these bunch of druggies. And there's some churches in our areas, and I'm not going to name no names. All they do is support druggies. That's all they do. You never hear them raising money for people with cancer, or people with a traumatic brain injury, or somebody that's got in a car. All you hear about is the story. And like I'm saying, I'm not down on anybody. I've known people. I went to school with people that had a drug problem, and they got clean. And they might not have done it on the first time. It might have been the second time. But this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I'm sorry. You can't go a month or two and then go right back to it and say, you know, well, I've changed. I'm going to show you this time. You ain't got to prove nothing to me. You need to prove it to yourself and your family and God. That's who you need to prove it to. But what I don't understand is why Georgia allows, they get out, they give them a place to live. Listen to this now. They help them find a place to live. Okay? They put them on food stamps. They give them a grant. I'm not lying about this, y'all. I'm serious. Like, but then my son, if you're going to do it for them, why ain't you doing it for him? He should come first. People like him should come first. That ain't right. He didn't ask for that. They chose to do drugs. They chose to drink alcohol. And, you know, I just don't have a lot of sympathy. But I do look at somebody, like I've got TikTok influencers like myself that I follow. And there's one of them that I love. She had a bad drug problem, and she speaks out about it. But here's the thing. She works her tail off. She don't get handouts. She don't ask for handouts. She lets people know she chose to do that. That wasn't a disease. She chose it. But it's a disease. It's this, it's that, okay? My friends that's been on drugs, they don't call it a disease. They call it a problem. It was a problem. They chose it. There's a difference. You know, my husband done them back in the day, and he'll tell you it's something he chose. He wasn't born like that. You know, he quit cold turkey. And not everybody can do that. Now, I'm not saying that, guy. I don't want y'all to sit here and think that I have no tolerance for people who are a pity party, and they use the Lord, they use the church, they use the system, and they think that they are owed something. You ain't owed nothing, okay? You ain't owed a damn thing. It really bothers me. It really does. But I want to say to you all there that has got your act together, I'm very proud of you. And I'm not sitting here saying, I just don't have no tolerance for thinking, you know, just back when I tried them and done them, if I thought that was a choice I made, I knew better. I was raised better than that. Most people who's tried them or done any kind of drugs, they were raised better than that. You know, I see people that's my age now that look like they're 60 years old because they've been on drugs for so long. You know, and I look at them and I come home, I've seen ones that in school were popular like me. Some of them were cheerleaders. And I've come home or walked out of the store, my husband looked at me and said, honey, what's wrong? I said, baby, you'll never guess who I seen in there. And I would tell him how their face was, you know, eat all up with sores, and it really bothered me. I was like, why? I mean, I would have never thought. But I know we don't think about what people are going through. But if anybody wanted to do drugs or become a darn drunk. It looked like it would be me with all me and my family's been through. But I can't do that. I have to choose to get up and live and, be good. But what I'm saying, the narrative of this rant is, I do not think it's right. If it's your first time, I'm not saying when you get out, you don't have no family, that the government can't help you a little bit. But for this to be your 6th, 7th, 8th time, no, it's not right. And it's not right when you turn down a kid that's got a traumatic brain injury that had everything took from him. Or a kid with cancer that's having to go through, cancer treatments after cancer treatments, or cerebral palsy, or, Down syndrome, autism. Spina bifida. Y'all know what I'm saying. But it's not, it's a choice. You were not born like that. That's what I'm saying. But, what do y'all think about this? I'm not sitting here, if you've got a kid that's been on drugs, I'm not saying that they don't need help. You just have to pray for them. But sometimes you can't be an enabler. You got to step back. I've seen parents that's had to step back and pray to God, but they've had to quit with them because they stole and everything else. And I feel so bad for the parents, because they're sitting there thinking, I've got to let go of my child and just pray to God that they're gonna wise up, or I'm gonna find them dead. I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't. But I do pray for people like that, because they can't help it. They didn't raise them like that. And I don't think nobody raises people like that. It just happens. But I think it's a habit. It's just like smoking cigarettes, alcohol. They like the lifestyle. Some of them do. And they just keep going back to it. And another thing, one more question I have. How in the hell do they afford it when they don't work? They don't do nothing. They don't have their kids half up. How do they afford it? Would y'all please tell me how they afford it? But I'm just saying, my thing is, the end of this is, it's not fair that these kids that need it, we got to jump through hoops, and then somebody does something, and like drugs. And what about these people in jail for murder they didn't commit? They get out and they screwed. Or, they go to prison for something and they're found guilty, or, manslaughter, or something was an accident. They get out and they don't get no help. So why, and here's the thing, why wouldn't they go do the drugs? Because we make it easy on them. The government makes it easy on them, so when they get out, something needs to be put down. Something needs to, and if they don't want to get help, guys, they just not, I don't know. But that's my rant for today. So please, if you feel some kind of way, you can unfollow me. I'm sorry if I've hurt you, if you got somebody in your family and you feel like I should just feel so bad, but can you understand where I'm coming from? And what's your feel on this situation? I want to know y'all's thoughts about it, because it just makes me sick. It does. It's just not right. I look at my son in there earlier and I'm thinking, we're still trying to get him back in rehab, and but I want to say, I don't hate nobody, and I do pray for people that are like that. And one more thing, tell me what y'all feel about this. If somebody's been on drugs for a long period of time, and this happened to my cousin, this mama was a druggie for, I bet you, 7 or 8 years. My cousin, her and her husband raised these kids. Stable home, great environment. 7 or 8 years now. They went to adopt them, and then all of a sudden, she changes. She wants them back, and the government gives them back to her after they have raised them. That's wrong. That's wrong. I'm sorry, that's wrong. Now, if they go to a family member and the family member wants to work it out, that's what they need to do with these kids. They need to give them to a family member that is willing to know if they do change, they can go back to their mama, or they can start seeing them, or the daddy, however it goes. But where this government just hands them back over after they've been with another family and they've had no contact with that mama or son or daddy for all them years, that's not right. That's messing with these kids, and they wonder what happens to them. I don't know. How do y'all feel on this? Just tell me. If y'all think I'm just so wrong about this, but how would y'all feel? Put yourself in my shoes if you were Joseph's mom and that happened for these people, and we have to beg. But I just want to say, to my husband, Michael, I love you. Thank you for always being the best dad to Joseph, having him on your insurance, working, so I can sit home and not work as much, and take care of him, and my mom for what she's done for Joseph, and my friends and family. especially to my mom, who is a rock. I won't know what I would do without her, especially when I was in my depression. If she hadn't been here, me and Joseph would have both been in a loony bin. So, okay, Loretta. Somebody's getting hungry, guys. But I love you guys, and thank y'all for just always being there. And I'm sorry if I hurt some of y'all's feelings, but put yourself in my shoes. So, that's all today. That's my rant. I love you guys. God bless you. And remember, always pray for everybody. And just hope someday things will change. And, you know, some people who enable won't enable no more. Sometimes you got to know when to let go. Like Kenny Rogers said, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. All right, love you guys. God bless. Talk to you guys later.